Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today is day number 47. Yesterday, day number 46, was a complete day off. And this morning, it was a beautiful morning. Woke up about 5:30, and a little bit after that, I had made a cup of coffee here in the van. And the loons were going this morning here at the campground in Vermont. And they were just making the sounds that they make this morning. Actually, they've been doing that the past couple mornings. But this morning, it was a really good way to sit here, have a nice hot cup of coffee, and listen to the loons go back and forth for a little bit this morning. And actually, it was kind of magical because I did not know if we would hear loons this year. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get to Maine, because in Maine, it just seems every evening there's loons somewhere and you can hear those loons. So it was magical. Been hearing the loons the past couple days. And today's episode, number 47, is actually going to wrap up the Appalachian Trail Summer 2025 series of episodes. I've decided to go ahead and take a couple weeks of actual, now this is in quotes, vacation time. And as we turn the van back south, and just a total regroup before I go back to work, reflect, take some time, because once I get back to work, it's back to the grind, back to the next 10 months until we have this time again next summer. So over the next couple weeks, turning the van south and actually going to take some vacation time. So wanted to recap, and I've got some topics here, where we started at, some thank yous, reflection after leaving Maine and how I see things, and then the podcast actually going forward. So this summer 2025, celebrating 20 years on the Appalachian Trail, started back at West Cornwall Road and made it to the Carlow Coal Side Trail just past the Maine border. And then we're going to add in 58.5 miles right back here in Vermont going southbound. From what I could tell, this summer has been 321.5 AT miles. And as I sit back and reflect, as my body is tired, as my feet hurt, I'm really proud of each and every step. And sometimes it's hard to take a look back and be like, wow, you really accomplished a lot this summer. And it's almost like I could title this episode The Miles Before the Whites, and then the Whites, and then the miles after the Whites. And this summer, I think the entire objective was to get through the Whites for a second time. So we had those miles to kind of warm up before the Whites. Everything that happened and went down inside those 91 and a half miles of the Whites, and then looking at 58.5 miles after the Whites. I mean, we stayed at all the huts. What an experience to go through and stay in those huts. All the people I've met, all the way back from Lonesome Lake Hut, all the way to the Carter Notch Hut. And then doing what I'm calling the trifecta on Mount Washington, hiking up Mount Washington, hiking down Mount Washington. I rode the cog and I took the hiker shuttle. So that's not normal, but that's how the hike went this summer. So we had the trifecta on Mount Washington and then all the side trails. And my question is, how and why are the side trails easier in the Whites and the Bahusics? So I'm going to leave a big question mark on that. The next topic I wanted to talk about was a huge thank you. First of all, to all of you who listen to the podcast, To all of you that I've met on trail and now you're listening to the podcast. For those of you that have completed your through hikes, congratulations. Job well done. It is a huge accomplishment to complete the Appalachian Trail. And your entire life, you will always be able to look back on that. And that is a tough accomplishment. Huge thank you to Lucky Dime for meeting me. And then, most importantly, a huge thank you to Stephanie, who has absolutely put up with all of my crazy this summer. And she is standing outside the van as I am recording this. And I think she's in total shock. But yeah, it just wouldn't be possible without Stephanie doing this, without the van, without the support. Just none of this would be possible. So a huge thank you to everybody involved. I cannot thank you all enough. The next topic is after some time leaving Maine, this is the way I'm seeing things now. So after I left Maine, I've hiked 58.5 miles here in Vermont. So my second section hike, it's still out there. It's still live. It's still present. 282 miles to go. The AT southbound here in Vermont, we were able to complete 58.5 miles south from the Connecticut, the bridge there that goes over the Connecticut River from New Hampshire, Vermont. We started a southbound, and I am no longer looking at that as starting a third section hike. I think my mind would explode if I did that. The way I am looking at these southbound miles along the AT here in Vermont is total trail therapy. And it's just me being able to reflect and walk and look back and see what went right, see what didn't go right, see and make adjustments going forward. And that is the way that I am looking at these miles that I started here in Vermont. And then the last 5 or 6 episodes, it's really been a way for me to kind of reflect really how I hike and how I proceed going forward. And again, I am not starting a third section hike. I don't know what I was thinking, but when you have time to sit back and reflect, you could always adjust, and I am adjusting that. This is not starting a third section hike. I think I'll lose my mind. Anyway, so we are leaving the second section hike open, 282 miles. And as I said in the previous episode, JNF, Jester, is not finished. So that is how I'm proceeding forward with that. As far as the podcast goes, I really and truly like putting together what I call a series of episodes. Those are the types of podcasts I like to listen to. They're my favorite to put out on the show, just a series of me out there hiking. And that is how I am going to proceed going forward. So for this Appalachian Trail Summer 2025, believe it or not, there will be a total of 36 episodes, including this one, to round out this summer 20 years of hiking on the Appalachian Trail. And if that's not enough, there are just as many short little videos under 3 minutes and actual videos over on my Julie Gayhart YouTube channel. Over the last several days, I've been putting together some videos. It's just 4 minutes of trail from that day's hike. So you can go over to my YouTube channel. The podcast is over there. All my series that I've done over the years are over there. So lots of content that went out this summer, and I'm just happy with all of it, and very content, and looking forward to just wrapping up these next couple weeks before I go back to work, just kind of chilling out, doing vacation stuff, and resting my mind before the educational Julie Gayhart takes over for the next 10 months. So my parting thoughts are, all right, y'all, Until the next series of episodes, thanks for listening. Be safe out there, everybody, and happy section hiking. And there you have it, Stephanie clapping. All right, y'all, take care.